Run it back, Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros. Speaking of frauds.
This is brought to you by Draftkings. If you want to get into sports betting, you can click the link in the description right now. Bet $5, just $200 in free bets. Bam, there you go. Now you got $200 in free bets to bet on whatever you want. So if you've been hesitant to get into sports betting, this is probably the best opportunity for you to get $200 worth of free bets by just putting up $5. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Not valid in all states. Let's go! Let's just go through some stuff on Twitter today. Some fun stats about Jalen Hurts, about what he did last night, and let's talk about it. John Clark, NBC. So here's the mindset from Jalen Hurts that you want athletes to have. Jalen Hurts says the Eagles still left a lot of money on the table. He says the speech he gave after the win in Detroit still applies in terms of the standard not being met. He said the thing that bothers him the most is the way they finished and didn't keep their foot on the gas. Not satisfied, Jalen Hurts. Not satisfied with a 24-7 win. Well, they put up 21 in the first half. Did they score in the second half at all? So Jalen Hurts was not satisfied. He wanted to run up the score. I did notice the play calling became, a little more conservative, I thought. So I think that slowing down of the scoring, taking their foot off the gas, was partly on Nick Sirianni. And of course the interception that he had wasn't even his fault. He hit Gainwell in the hands on a running back, whatever it's called, right over the middle with blockers in front of him that would have gained him some yards, maybe a first down right there, and Gainwell just kind of volleyball tipped it to the defense. So I don't put that on Hurts either. Jalen Hurts is the first player in NFL history to have 300-plus passing yards, 80+% completion percentage, and rush for multiple touchdowns in a game. The first quarterback, the first player in NFL history to do what he did last night. That 80% completion percentage is insane. It really is. At one point, he was, I think, 9 for 9, 10 for 10. I think it was 10 for 10 in the first quarter. And what did he finish the game? Like 21 for 24 or something crazy like that? 80% completion percentage, 300-plus passing yards, and rush for multiple touchdowns in a game. First player in NFL history to do that. Of course, and the reason he's the first player in NFL history to do that is because usually running quarterbacks don't throw for 300 yards and definitely don't hit an 80% completion percentage. So he's proving right now in just these two games that he can be a threat to run the ball, but he can also finish a game with 300 passing yards and an 80% completion percentage. That is a very lethal combination of skill sets in a quarterback. And it's incredible, and it's never been done before. So, when ESPN compares him to Michael Vick right here, the last quarterback in Eagles history to have 300 passing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns in a game was Michael Vick, November 15th, 2010. Crazy part is they had the exact same amount of yards, 333 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. But I don't even necessarily like the Michael Vick comparisons right here, because I don't think Jalen Hurts played in the last 2 games anything like Michael Vick. Michael Vick was a cannon. Michael Vick could throw the ball 400 yards. But Michael Vick was very inaccurate in the short game. Michael Vick was very inaccurate in the slant game, in the short out game. Michael Vick's touchdown to interception ratio is almost a 1-to-1 for his career. And Michael Vick never had a good team around him, except that 2010 Eagles team. But Jalen Hurts did something last night that even Michael Vick never did. 300 passing yards, 80% completion percentage, and 2 rushing touchdowns. So it's a small sample size, I know that. But Jalen Hurts looked incredible last night. And I don't know what else to say. I didn't believe that he could do this in one offseason. Well, damn it. It damn sure looks like he did it. Total yards by NFL QBs after 2 games. Look at this list. Who the hell would have expected this? 742 Tua Tagovailoa after he threw for 469 on Sunday. Second on the list, Jalen Hurts at 723. Former Alabama teammates. Third on the list, Carson Wentz. Fourth on the list, Josh Allen. I would expect him to be there. 667 for Lamar Jackson. I would expect him to be there too. That's a crazy list right there. And the fact that Tua threw for 469 on Sunday and Jalen's only 17 yards behind him on that list is wild. Is wild. Is there any naysayers left? Are there still... Because I think that's what really, at this point, after these 2 games, of course I was skeptical, the whole offseason after last season. I just saw a running quarterback that I didn't think could develop into a pocket passer. But I feel like anybody after these 2 games saying that he hasn't been great, that's how you know. That's how you know. That's a real hater. Nick G, I see you in the chat. You were top hater before season, low key. I absolutely 100% was. But a real hater will watch these 2 games and still sit up here and say, well, it was just the Lions and the Vikings are terrible. And look, he had 2 rushing touchdowns. He's still not throwing for touchdowns. A real hater will still sit back here and try to pick out things so they feel like they were right. I don't know what that is about. I feel like it's some kind of insecurity thing. I'm totally fine being wrong. I'm totally fine being wrong. People say keep that same energy. Why do I have to keep that same energy? I thought he wasn't good last year as far as throwing the ball from the pocket. He looks really damn good right now. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. I hope he keeps it up. I said on Twitter today, if Jalen Hurts is putting up top 5 quarterback numbers after 5 games, I will buy 5 Hurts season hats from Lord Brunson, and I will wear one for the rest of the season, and I will give away 4 of them to subscribers. So, you know what I mean? I'm damn it, last night was fun, and I'm almost all in. I'm almost all in. You guys were right to believe in him, I feel like. He's shutting people up, man. He's shutting people up.